Good morning. Great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning. Yes, the beautiful reminder of choice that we all have. And what is the choice that we have? Well, that we can choose what things mean. We get to choose how we're going to see things, how we're going to perceive. Remember, perception is one of your higher mental faculties. You have 6 of them: imagination, perception, reason, will, memory, intuition. Perception, that's your point of view, the lens from which you view the world. Your reality has nothing to do with the facts. It has to do with the meanings that you give those facts. And those meanings are something that you can shape. Now, think about how important that is. Everything is fundamentally meaningless. You've heard me say that many, many times. Everything just is. Nothing is good or bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. And with that choice, of which is your greatest power, you can lead yourself into any desired outcome, no matter what it may be. Change your income, change your lifestyle, change what you do for work, change the people you surround yourself with, the home in which you live, the car in which you drive. All of that can change, provided you are in harmony with it, provided you are thinking thoughts that are in harmony with you growing, not thoughts that are eroded and it's opposite. It doesn't work that way. Remember, things are not brought into existence by thinking of their opposites. See, you have to make wise choices inside to see things that are in harmony with how you love things to be in order to deliver that outcome. And that's what we've been studying here in these beautiful calls, studying this beautiful gem here, the Master Key System. So make sure you do have a copy of this. Make sure that you do take notes, you underline. Most importantly, though, make sure that you apply it practically. See, when we say to do something, for instance, to imagine great things, we literally mean to do that. See, that's the action we're talking about, the internal action. That internal action will then lead to the physical action, which then will lead you to the outcomes or the results. So again, that's our invitation to you. Sounds great, doesn't it? Yes. Type in the comments. That sounds great. Wonderful. All right. So let's dive into this. Let's go into where we are in this beautiful gem. Here we go. Boom. Now, the page that we're on is page 396. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go over this section here, number 25. Now, remember, application. How can you use this right now? How can you apply this in your life practically? That's what's going to determine whether or not this helps you. It's not knowing this. It's not reading it. It's not memorizing it. It's using it. So he says, as thought is creative, and the truth is the highest and most perfect thought which anyone can think. Now I want you to pay attention to truth. Circle the word truth here. It is self-evident to think the truth. To think the truth is to create that which is true. And it is again evident that when truth comes into being, that which is false must cease to be. Now let's engage with this. Let's engage with this and dive into its meaning and how important it is. Now, again, thought is creative. Thoughts are things. Thoughts are energy. Thoughts are the magnets that attract to us the very things that we think. Now, when you think in terms of truth with what he's pointing out here, truth is the possibility. Truth is the growth. Truth is everything that has to do with creation. Now, where does that truth have to be? It has to be in you, in your imagination, in order for it to be externalized. Now, think about that. It's about something you imagine. And when you really dive in and see this, you'll realize that the appearance, which are the physical things that are there, happen because somebody thought from truth. They imagined something. They were in that inner world. They were in the kingdom of heaven. And they thought of the truth regardless of the appearance. So when you learn to think that way, to think truth regardless of appearances, especially when the appearances are contrary to what that truth is, to how you would love things to be, when you think that way, you have power. You see, this is where you must engage with it within. Now let's go further. The universal mind, in its totality of all mind, is the totality of all mind, which is in existence. The universal mind, God, source. Spirit is mind because spirit is intelligent. The words are therefore synonymous. Now that sounds like a wow, what in the world is he talking about here? Well, what he's talking about here is simply that universal mind, God, source, is like an ocean of consciousness from which every wave of thought arises. I'm saying that spirit and mind are not separate. Your spirit, your mind, they're one and the same. They are two different words of the same what? Of the same infinite intelligence that moves through everything that lives. Everything starts in the mind. Everything starts in spirit, which is your kingdom of heaven. Remember, happens twice. First in the mind, second in physical form. First in spirit, which means we're all spiritual, and second in physical form. Look at it this way: crazy awesome stick person. The mind, oh, the spirit. The mind, spirit are one. What's in spirit, what's in mind, conscious, subconscious, which then leads to a vibratory state in the body, which then leads to physical action. Again, it starts inside. And guess who has control over what's going on inside of you? Go like this, point to yourself. I do. I'm the one who has that control. Now, right now, it might be difficult for you to think from the inside out, but hey, you know what? That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Remember, everything is difficult before it becomes easy. This is where patience and persistence with applications comes into play. Everything is difficult before it becomes easy. The difficulty with which you have to contend is to realize that mind is not individual. It is omnipresent. It exists everywhere. In other words, there is no place where it is not. It is therefore universal. So, what's a way that we can look at this to help us to understand it? Well, first, understand that, yes, it is a challenge to realize that mind is not confined to us individually. And then to really step into opening our minds to see that, you know what, it's everywhere. Just like what? Just like the air you breathe. Think about that. You can't draw a line around it. That's crazy when you think about it. You can't draw a line around it. Why? Because there is no shape to it. It's infinite. It's everywhere. It's omnipresent. It's universal, which should open your eyes to something really amazing and incredible. By the way, think about this. That means there is no limitation in it. The only limitation that's there are the limitations that you've agreed to and have accepted. You don't have to accept it. Why? You're part of this universal mind, which is omnipresent and has no shape, and which is infinite itself. Now, that's a hard one to grasp onto, especially considering we are born into seeing walls, seeing limitations. Think about the moment you come out of the womb, you see walls. You see barriers. See, that's how we're used to thinking. But see, this is where you've got to make a decision to shift that way of thinking. And when you do, you'll notice magnificent changes in your life. You'll start delivering outcomes that far exceed anything that you've dreamt of before. Think about that, dramatically changing your lifestyle, how you live, how much you earn, what you do. Remember, that all starts in the mind. If you want to change what's happening in your outer world, you must change what's happening in your inner world, of which is part of the infinite. Now, before we proceed, those of you who are watching this live stream, if you'd love to dive into watching the rest of these calls and watch the replays, go to Master Your Mind and go Elevitality and register for Master Your Mind. You'll thank yourself later.